NATO troops have been ambushed by North Korea. Who could have imagined? The North Korean soldiers have entered the battlefield, and they've done it in a brutal way. In less than 3 hours, they executed an operation so swift and lethal that it left NATO forces completely humiliated. Why is no one in the mainstream media talking about this? Because what happened in Kursk is not just a setback for NATO, but a devastating message for the entire West. In this video, we will tell you how this ambush, led by North Korea's elite forces, has completely changed the game in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Stay until the end, because this story is full of details that the mainstream media doesn't want you to know.
It was a lightning-fast operation, relentless and precise. Elite North Korean troops equipped and trained by Russia made their debut in the conflict in the Kursk region. In less than 3 hours, they crossed minefields, faced Ukrainian soldiers and NATO mercenaries disguised as local troops, and destroyed everything in their path. The numbers are chilling. More than 300 soldiers eliminated in the blink of an eye. No prisoners, no witnesses, only corpses. These troops did not arrive with the intention of capturing territory to buy time or negotiate. They arrived with a clear mission: to eradicate the enemy without a trace. This level of military efficiency has put NATO on high alert, as they question how a country like North Korea, which for decades was seen as an isolated regime, is demonstrating such devastating military power. The battlefield in Kursk is now completely under the control of Russia and its allies. What was a fortified zone with booby traps and strategically placed mines was not enough to stop these North Korean troops, who moved with surgical precision, following the Russian combat manuals to the letter.
What happened in Kursk was not an isolated act. It is the result of a strategic alliance between Russia and North Korea that has been quietly consolidating for months. Since December 2023, a strategic partnership agreement has united both countries in a coalition that could be considered the NATO of the East. This agreement states that any attack on Russia will be considered an attack on North Korea, and vice versa. And now, for the first time, we have seen this alliance in action. Kim Jong-un's troops are not only training on Russian soil, they are fighting side by side with the Russians, following brutal and perfectly executed combat tactics. This military debut has not only served to demonstrate North Korea's loyalty to Moscow, but it is also a strategic move to strengthen North Korean defense. Kim Jong-un is ensuring that, if his country is attacked in the future, it will have the full support of Russia. But this alliance also has an implicit message. North Korea is no longer that isolated and underestimated country that the West used to make fun of. Now, it is showing that it can project force beyond its borders with a military precision that few expected.
Why isn't this news on the front page of the mainstream media? Because it's an embarrassment for NATO. What happened in Kursk has exposed the weaknesses of their strategy. For months, the West has accused Russia of using troops from allies like Belarus or mercenaries from the Wagner Group, but now we see that Russia is not alone in this conflict. North Korean soldiers have proven to be a relentless force, and their presence has shifted the balance on the battlefield. In contrast, NATO faces a dilemma: how to respond to this alliance without escalating the conflict to even more dangerous levels. Even senior NATO officials, such as Antony Blinken, have expressed concern about this new dynamic. But there is a clear double standard here. How can they criticize the presence of North Korean soldiers on Russian soil while they themselves send mercenaries and soldiers in disguise to fight in Ukraine? This situation highlights that NATO's strategy in Ukraine is not only failing, but is now facing new challenges in a scenario where new actors are joining every day.
But how many North Korean soldiers are on the battlefield? So far, the exact numbers are a mystery. Some reports suggest that there are at least 11,000 North Korean soldiers deployed on rotation on Russian soil, while others estimate that there could be more than 100,000. It has even been speculated that North Korea could send up to 1 million reservists if necessary. What is clear is that their deployment in Kursk has not only left a devastating toll on NATO, but has also shown that these troops are well prepared for any future conflict. Equipped with advanced weaponry provided by Russia, these forces now have real combat experience, making them an invaluable strategic asset for Moscow.
This is shaking up a new geopolitical scenario. The impact of this operation is not limited to the battlefield. The alliance between Russia and North Korea is sending a clear message to the West: they are not alone. This coalition, which could include other countries like Iran and China in the future, is openly challenging NATO's dominance. For North Korea, this is a golden opportunity. Their troops are gaining real combat experience, they are testing new weapons provided by Russia, and they are showing the world that they are a military force to be reckoned with. For Russia, this alliance strengthens its position in the conflict. Just as NATO has troops from allied countries like Poland, Georgia, and others, Moscow now has an ally willing to fight and buy its protection in the long term.
But what does this mean for the future? What happened in Kursk is just the beginning. This conflict is entering a new stage, a stage where alliances and strategies are being reconfigured. Now we know that Russia and North Korea are fighting together, and that this alliance could change the course of the war. The West will have to rethink its strategy. How will they respond to this new dynamic? Are they willing to escalate the conflict even further? And most worryingly, if North Korea is showing this strength in support of Russia, what implications will this have in the future for South Korea and its allies? What happened in Kursk is not just another battle. It is a turning point in this conflict. A demonstration that war is not only fought with weapons, but also with strategic alliances that can shift the balance of power. From the Cold War to the present day, we will analyze the key events that have marked this union and its possible repercussions for the future. The history between Russia and North Korea is long and full of unexpected twists. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union positioned itself as one of North Korea's main allies, providing it with military and economic support. However, after the fall of the USSR, the relationship cooled significantly. In recent years, we have witnessed a resurgence of this alliance. Russia, in its quest to counter Western influence, has found in North Korea a partner willing to cooperate. This new rapprochement not only has military implications, but also economic and political repercussions. The recent ambush in Kursk is a clear sign that this alliance has become stronger than ever. For the West, this represents a considerable challenge. How should an alliance that combines Russia's military capability with North Korea's unpredictability be addressed? The answer to this question could determine the course of global geopolitics in the coming years. Meanwhile, the situation on the Korean peninsula remains tense, with South Korea and its allies watching every move cautiously. This alliance not only redefines military strategies, but also reshapes global alliances.